Welcome back to another video. So this is where I'm at with it. I went ahead and I added the cross in the middle, and I added the first layer of fiberglass just to shape it. And then I was about to start sanding it, but you know what, I decided to just completely remove it, and we're just gonna go ahead and do the bezel all the way around, and then a nice mesh insert on the inside. And I mean, it doesn't look bad. I honestly would keep it if and only if it didn't have this hump right here. Because it has that hump right there, I mean, even if I cut it and kind of make it look like right here, there's gonna be a hump right there, and it, in a straight line right here, it's gonna be noticeable that something is missing there. Unlike every other Ram after this generation, does not have that hump in the hood. So I mean, it's kind of forcing me to keep it. So whatever, we're just gonna go ahead and take it off. Keeping that smaller one also still gives it the look of the OBS. Although we're putting a newer bumper, it's not like we're trying to make a brand new truck out of it. I think it's kind of trying a little too hard to make it different. But I think the bumper enough gives it a different look to where it throws you off a little bit, but keeping more of an original style grill is gonna help tie the whole image together. So like I said, all I did is I put the first layer of fiberglass, and I primered it just to help me get a more of a complete look. I know it's still 3 different shades, but half of the thing was chrome, the bottom was gray, the inside was gray, so it was just throwing me off. So I just hit it with the primer real quick to get a complete look. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out again, and we're gonna go ahead and keep working on the sides. The shape kind of looks a little more natural. Remember guys, this is 2 different grills bodywork together. The top grill is from an OBS, the bottom grill is from a 4th gen Ram. So that ties everything in together pretty nice. Just the middle is the only thing that I was kind of debating on. As you can see, the floor is wet. It's a little bit of rainy season, so I'm gonna be working on inside the shop right here off to the side. Let's see how far we can get on it. Guys, I noticed both of these parts are from the original grill, from the 4th gen. And it looks like these pieces are identical. In order to recreate this part, which is that part we just took off, the cross from the original grill, I think I'm gonna cut some of this and try to get that perfect blend in with this one. I don't know if it'll work, but it might. Straight as possible, pretty much. So, let me see. So check this out. Like I said, this was one of the little arms sticking out of there, and this is where that one originally sat in. So there's always been a big old gap right here. So in order to bring like a natural shape all the way around, I cut one of these pieces from the other part, and I think I'm gonna trace it out, put it right in there. It should more or less be the exact same shape. And then whatever imperfections, of course, we're gonna fiberglass it and make it look nice. It shouldn't be noticeable, so should work pretty good. And I'd rather use some of the original plastic and less fiberglass than to try to fiberglass that whole piece and trying to make that look nice. Like I said, I know the basics. I'm not a pro at all. Now, if there's anyone watching this that does auto body or knows how to use fiberglass and Bondo and all that, comment down below every step I did wrong. That way we could correct it, and anyone watching, they could learn from it as well. We're gonna go ahead and cut out that piece and try to put this one in as flush as possible. That way we're only filling a little bit of the gaps with fiberglass. So that way we just try to blend from here to here and from here to here and and not from here to here. Guys, check this out. Bam. This is gonna work really good. Looking good. And this is just donated work right here. I'm about to sand this back down, reshape this because this was already perfect. I started fiberglassing thinking I was gonna be able to mold that whole shape, but it is what it is. And then this is pretty easy. This is just the inside part. Okay, so here I just added just a little bit of fiberglass to hold it in place. Now that it's on there pretty good, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of it, as well as up here. As you can see, there's little tiny gaps to fill with fiberglass, but I think it's gonna be very, very strong. It's gonna look good. So right now the second coat of fiberglass is drying on the grill. After that, it should be probably one more coat for all the little imperfections on the sides and stuff. Now I also went ahead and I ordered some mesh and stuff to play around with it. We'll see, maybe we could just make a cool grill ourselves. If it doesn't end up looking good, then you know, we'll figure something else out, but it didn't look too hard. The hardest part I think I already did, which was making the whole bezel and making everything match together. So this is where I'm currently at. I took off the plastic piece so I could start lowering this a little bit. The only thing, the sockets I have do not reach all the way in there. So I'm gonna run down to Harbor Freight real quick and we're gonna get some longer sockets. After that, we should be pretty good to go. I know I didn't really show much of the whole bracket work, but if you can see, this is pretty much the factory 2nd gen bracket. Cut it in half, flip this 180 degrees, and it lined up perfectly with this bolt and the factory holes on the thing. So had to pretty much tweak the brackets. Same with this side. So as you can see, without the plastic, everything looks like it's lining up perfectly. Same with this side. But it is getting late, so let's go get those sockets real quick. Okay, I'm back. Unfortunately, it's starting to get dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand down the bumper first. That way I could hopefully get one more coat on there. And then we'll focus on the bumper. I mean, we should be good. It's near the garage, so we got some light. Currently here at the house. So I kind of brought all this stuff just so I could work on it here. On the weekends, we don't really work, and I have most of my tools and everything over there. But check this out, guys. I have this pretty big size yard, and I'm planning on putting like a 20 by 20 shop right here. That's something I've always wanted to do. So a 20 by 20 should fit perfect. The only thing is it needs concrete. And then we also need a cut into the building. So I already made some calls. They're going to come and they're going to install another garage door on this side. And that's going to pretty much make my garage into a drive-through. And then on the other side is going to be the shop. And that's pretty much so I could bring some of the trucks home. I do have all the trucks at the shop because, you know, there's so much space over there. But what sucks is when doing projects like this, or you know, I need one or the other, I'm just driving back and forth and dropping stuff off. All right, starting to look pretty good. Right now I'm working on the inner bezel, just trying to make it all look natural. It's all pretty much level. Now I just need to sand it down and then level out the back to where it looks like that pretty much. We're gonna make that look like that. But right now, just barely put a coat. Okay, there we go, guys. So I went ahead and I loosened it. So luckily he had made them slightly bigger, so all I had to do is loosen it and it dropped a little bit. So hopefully we don't have to re-drill anything. I'm just trying to get maybe I think it was about ½ an inch lower, and then it was also leaning forward a little bit, so it was throwing everything off. So I'm right now it's just loose. I'm gonna go ahead and put it where I want it, put that piece on there, and see if we could tighten it a little bit. This part for sure, it needs it though. right, guys, finally got that on. So I know it looks just like it did before, but pretty much I attached this bracket to the frame, and this bracket supports this whole plastic piece. That way it's not wobbly in the middle, and also made sure everything was centered. I was having a lot of doubts if everything was centered, because I would move one end and the other side, but ended up being these headlights all just need to be adjusted. If you pay attention, they're kind of like tilted and slanted. You can't really tell from a distance, but that was just throwing off all my measurements. Now with this bumper support on, I pretty much know 100% the bumper is now centered. Now I need to adjust the lights to match like the bumpers on each side. Okay, so now what's left for me to do is, now that this plastic piece is 100% where it's supposed to be, now I'm gonna tighten up the bumper again, adjusting it to match the plastic piece. All right, guys, starting to look a lot better, but something's missing. I can't figure it out. Oh yeah. Okay, guys, there we go. Of course, we could color match this. These pieces are removable. I could color match each little piece and put it back together. So come up with the custom one of a kind. All right, guys, this is for this video. The next thing I'm gonna do is hopefully finalize the grill, and then we'll start working on the interior. Stay tuned for the next video. Let's go.